By the end of this video, you will know exactly everything that you need in order to start booking anywhere from 4 to 6 calls per day, all organic from your outreach efforts. And guys, I'll be fully transparent. Like, I don't know if it's my new haircut, aka the mullet that I'm having or whatever it might be, but I'm feeling like literally giving away the farm for today's video. What you're about to witness on this video is literally one of the most powerful insights that I've had in the last couple of months and years. If there's something that I've been noticing from the actual calls that I had with some of you guys, or maybe from the actual sales calls that I've been having with my business, well, it seems like the biggest problems that people are having is booking sales calls, assuming that you're able to book sales calls, closing those calls, and last but not least, actually start having inbound leads instead of having to rely on outbound prospecting. So guys, for today's video, I'm going to show you the one single most powerful thing that I've discovered so far that I'm teaching to my clients in order for them to start booking 4 to 6 calls per day while still solving those 3 major problems that I just mentioned. So guys, without further ado, I just want to go straight to the computer and get started right away because this is going to be a banger of a video. Alright guys, so let's start off by saying that you can get this entire document plus everything that we're going to start covering in this video, plus all of the different documents that I use on my YouTube videos, if you actually join my Facebook group with the link that will be found in the description, and you actually go to this master resource folder and you comment Drive. If you do this, I will give you this document plus the entire master resource folder with all of the documents that I use in my YouTube videos. But that being said, guys, let's start with a video right away because this is going to be an absolute banger of a video. The old way to set up VSL funnels and booking calls with prospects is by you having one single VSL laid out in your website where people visit it after they visit your profile. You're doing organic DMs, or you run ads to it, like to the actual VSL funnel so that people can book a call, or maybe people visit your VSL after they get an email from you. And then from there, a small percentage of those visitors, assuming that they actually see the VSL, well, guess what? Book a call from you with you, okay? So here's the thing, guys, like this is first of all hard, expensive, and you need to have your messaging on point. The typical VSL funnel is just simply sending all of the people that you come across with in the internet to this one single video on your website that is going to basically show them what is it that you do, who do you help, how do you help them, etc. Right? Like that's a typical VSL funnel that, again, it's not like it doesn't work at all or that you should be doing something different about it. It's just the old way of doing things, and it pretty much sucks a little bit, okay? Also, it needs a little bit of technical setup, like you actually need to set up the VSL on your funnel or your website. You will be incurring in unnecessary expenses, okay? I will be fully transparent, like the only exception to this rule would be if you're using cold email as your primary way to get customers. And the reason why is because, of course, if you are sending a cold email to somebody, they are going to search for your domain and they're going to be directed to your main website or your landing page or whatever it might be. And if you don't have anything in there, chances are that they're not going to be doing anything. But yeah, that's the only scenario in which the typical VSL book a call funnel actually does work on a better instance than this that I'm about to show you. But guys, realistically, the new way to actually book appointments for agencies or coaching businesses is by doing what we call the foundational Micro-VSLs, okay? And the whole purpose of the Micro-VSL funnel or the Micro-VSL outreach method is creating niche-specific organic VSLs on YouTube so that your leads get indoctrinated by your unique mechanism while adding up to the human-to-human connection, growing your brand, audience, and of course your community. So at a high level, let me just do a little bit of a drawing in here, and I promise that this is going to be worth it once you actually understand it. The typical VSL book a call funnel is you have one major VSL in your website that this is where all of your traffic gets sent to, right? The VSL on your website. And it doesn't matter if you're sending DMs from Twitter, from IG, from Facebook, from LinkedIn, from, I don't know, whatever it might be, like, well, cold email, of course, right? It doesn't matter where you're doing the actual call prospecting from, you send all of these people to the same place, okay? And it's either do or die, like, hey, I actually like what you do, and I book a call, or hey, no, I don't, and I don't care about you, fuck off, right? This is typically how the old way of doing VSL funnels look like. What we've noticed to work best, and this is the actual magic that we started to apply in the last couple of months and which has allowed us to expand our full of calls, is actually the Micro-VSL funnel. So what this means is you, instead of having to send everybody to one VSL funnel, you basically create different VSLs, right? VSL1, VSL2, VSL3, okay? And all of these, instead of being reliant over there on your website or your landing page, these are pretty much YouTube videos that are specifically crafted and specifically made with the sole purpose of being sent to your prospects, okay? So the way we go around it is that you grab, let me just do this in here. You grab these same platforms, and what you do is that the cold DMs that you do, instead of directly sending people to the VSL or sending a sales pitch or whatever it might be on the DMs, what you do is you ask for permission. So what you do on Twitter, on Instagram, on Facebook or on LinkedIn is simply send a message that says something like, I don't know, let's say, hi, first name. I recently put together a video on, let's say, and listen, of course, this needs to be super niche specific and specifically crafted by your ideal client profile. This, I mean, the fact that it's a micro-VSL doesn't mean that it doesn't have to be micro-niched and that it doesn't have to be really specific to solve a specific problem. And on top of that, to be super practical, right? So what you do is you say, hey, I just recently put a training on how we use micro-VSLs to book 4 to 6 calls per day for lead generation agencies. Do you mind if I drop it here for you? Chances are, number one, that you're going to say yes, because it's basically even for free a lead magnet to somebody, okay? So they're going to say yes, and then guess what? You're going to track KPIs, so you know that for an absolute fact, VSL1 is starting to work. And then what you do is that these people get sent to this YouTube video, and they start consuming the YouTube video, where of course the actual YouTube video is going to have call to actions to maybe, yeah, book a call. But on top of that, the actual YouTube video can send people to your community funnel. But guess what? On top of that, the actual YouTube video is helpful. They're going to be able to watch other YouTube videos of yours. And on top of that, just to finish it up, like this is so powerful. People are going to start replying faster and are going to have more goodwill to actually keep the conversation going with you on, in this case, Twitter. But the same thing happens for Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, whatever it might be. Okay, this is the power. And on top of that, what the beauty of this is that if you're tracking KPIs, you start noticing like, hey, you know what? People are actually really resonating with my VSL1, but let's just start trying this VSL2. Maybe you test it out and you notice, hey, dude, like this is better. Oh, people are resonating more with my VSL3, etc. And of course, the whole purpose is that the VSLs are different between them. What I mean by that is that, for example, if this first VSL was about, and we're going to dive really soon into this, like for example, we have VSLs for all of our different pillars for our offer. What we do is simply say, hey, I made a training on, for example, how we use YouTube ads to scale coaching businesses. Or the other one might be like, hey, here's how we are using Facebook ads to community funnel to scale coaching business. Oh, by the way, here's a training on how we are using YouTube ads and Facebook ads to get 5 to 6 extra clients per week for our coaching business. You see, you're basically changing the angles in which you are promoting your VSL, and then your actual VSL is doing the entire marketing for you, and you're just pushing it on the throats of your prospects in such a way that they are going to actually enjoy the actual outreach process, okay? And on top of that, this can be super easily managed by a VA that can do the entire prospecting for you, so that you can start booking calls on demand, basically, okay? But yeah, that's at a high level the process, okay? Now, why is this better? Well, first of all, this is free. You don't have to pay a cent to upload YouTube videos. Different leads have different struggles and stories. Hence why having different mini VSLs is both more effective in the sense that if somebody is struggling with, hey man, I honestly don't need more calls, I just suck at closing the calls, then you can have a VSL about the actual closing. On top of that, it's more forgiving instead of just relying on just one VSL that needs to be perfectly crafted according to the messaging of your offer and according to the struggles and pain points of your prospects. This other approach allows you to create opportunities for people to be like, okay, this guy offered me this video. Honestly, it's cool and everything, but I don't know, I really don't struggle with booking calls, for example. Let's say that was you. But they notice that, oh, this guy has another video about how to close the calls and pitch with confidence without relying on just without being an objection handling ninja. Oh, I'm interested in that one. So they start going through the actual consumption chain of YouTube videos and content, okay? So that's the purpose of this. And then here's the actual magic, guys. Like, once you create some foundation on micro-VSLs, like I'm mentioning here on YouTube, you can keep creating 1 to 2 pieces of content per week so that you slowly start getting inbound leads and you can start finding your voice as a creator, entrepreneur, and more. So you all start getting, on top of this beautiful system and mechanism that you see here, the actual YouTube platform by itself is a beast, okay? And what that means is that you're going to start getting leads as more time go by, meaning that you can start nurturing and getting more people to actually find you. And it's like the platform doing the business and the actual efforts for you instead of you having to rely on your efforts, okay? So this is the first step, and I hope that this is making sense so far. Of course, if you have any question, feel free to leave them in the comments or whatever it might be. But realistically, guys, this is the most powerful thing I have found so far in order to book calls organically, and I'm 100% sure that if you do the same, it's going to change your life, basically. On top of that, guys, just want to let you guys know about the following. So this entire process that I'm mentioning on the foundation on micro-VSLs on YouTube will help you build your messaging, right? So, you know, if you've been following the channel for a while, you will notice that even if I'm a huge proponent on you focusing on your offer and creating the best offer that you can create so that people say yes on the actual sales call, if your messaging is not on point, even if you have the best offer in the planet, if you are not having a sales call in the first place, you will never be able to pitch it. So it's like you didn't have an offer to begin with. Okay, so I know that sucks, but that's what your messaging is for. Because your messaging, aka what you make your prospects feel and experience from the outreach and the prospecting process that you're using, is what generates the meeting. And then once your messaging generated the meeting, the actual offer is going to make you close a deal on the sales call. Okay, so by creating this messaging through the Micro-VSLs, you're going to start having better reply rates, more conversions to book calls, and easier closes, because these people will have consumed your content. They're going to come pretty much knowing what your offer is all about. So it's just about discussing the formalities. Last but not least, this will also be used in your sales pitch, because you're going to start crafting stories, dialogue-based approach to your pitch. And I will cover a little bit about that at the end of the video, on how you can create these 1 to 2 to 3 pillars in such a way that you can start noticing, like, okay, once you're making your pitch, how you can make the best use of your VSLs, your stories, and your dialogues to actually make people immediately buy from you. Okay, so this will help you build your messaging, your sales pitch, and on top of this, help you nurture your community funnel while getting more and more and more email leads. And by the way, if you want to see a video on how we set up that community funnel for our clients and how you can start getting on-demand inbound leads, just go and watch the video that I will be leaving in the description. But yeah, this is step one, understanding the foundational Micro-VSL method. And again, this is going to be just by itself super powerful if you actually did understand. Now, second step is understanding why YouTube specifically, okay? Because yeah, you can create like a blog, or you can create like a podcast, or whatever it might be. But remember, like, we are not influencers looking to start businesses. We are business owners looking to have influence, okay? And what this means, guys, is the following. Like, the fact of the matter is that you need to have influence in order to command action from someone else. And that command or that action that you're going to be asking from others, guess what? Is going to be booking a call with you, buying from you, performing a certain action, whatever it might be. So the level of action you can command from someone else is going to depend on your influence, and the amount of influence you have is going to dictate the amount of money that you can make, okay? So this is why YouTube is so powerful, guys, because alongside with blogs and podcasts, this is the only platform where you can have search intent and more views as time goes on. Other platforms like Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, whatever it might be, you only get noticed and people remember you 24 hours after you make a post. On YouTube, the time where you're going to have the less views is right now, if you make a post today. Because tomorrow, the video is going to get views, the day after tomorrow, also, the day after tomorrow, etc. So honestly, it's literally the best social media platform to dedicate your efforts to. And aside from that, guys, I want to be fully transparent. Since you're going to be making a huge effort in this for this foundational VSLs and YouTube videos that you're going to continue doing outside of the foundational VSLs, you can easily repurpose all of this content in all the other platforms that you're using for outreach. So for example, in your actual Instagram account, you can make stories, or you can make posts of your YouTube videos. In your Facebook account, the same. Also on LinkedIn, also on whatever it might be, right? So it's literally the best of both worlds. And aside from that, it also allows for a superior way to build rapport, audience, and community, okay? And the reason why is because one YouTube subscriber is literally worth the same as 20 TikTok followers, plus you can easily translate that audience, the actual YouTube audience that you have, to other platforms. For example, to your Facebook group, to your Instagram account, to your TikTok, whatever it might be, okay? So this is why YouTube is such a powerful social media platform in 2023, and it's going to be like that in the next coming months, okay, guys? So if this has been helpful so far, I would really appreciate it. You leave a comment, you let me know what you have been thinking about this foundational Micro-VSLs. And on top of that, well, if you're not subscribed, subscribe to the channel, leave a like. I would really appreciate it. It means the world to me. But let's continue, because we are now going to start diving into how you can create your own VSLs, your own Micro-VSLs, and start landing deals left and right, okay? So, and this is the third stage of the process. If in case that you have never booked a call with us, I'll be honest, if you were to be pitched by me or by somebody in our business, we typically walk our prospects through the 3-step process that we use to actually help our clients scale their businesses and make multi-5 figures per month, okay? And the way it typically works, we literally say something like, okay, so the first thing we need to focus on is creating the foundational sales messaging and offer alignment. Once that's done, we're going to install a one-on-one outbound model. And last but not least, we're going to start focusing on your community funnel. I mean, of course, like, that's a super high level pitch. If you want to know how the pitch actually goes, go ahead and book a call. So that's how it goes. But here's the magic, guys. For every pillar, you can notice in here, we have one video, okay? Every pillar, every major pillar of our offer, we actually have a YouTube video about that pillar. So this foundational and sales messaging offer and alignment is literally what I explained on this video. This one-on-one outbound domination, a one-on-one outbound model, is what I explained on this video. This community funnel is what I explained on this video. okay? So here's where the magic happens. In order for you to create foundational VSLs that are going to be booking those calls left and right and make people come ready to buy to your sales calls and feel that you are literally the best thing on earth for them, you need to go over this 4-step process, okay? The first one is you need to know your market and what pain points of the market are, okay? So for example, let me just give you a brief overview of what I know for an absolute fact for our clients have. So if you run an agency, like an SMMA, or you are running a coaching business or consulting business, whatever it may be, chances are, like I was saying at the beginning of the video, you are not having enough sales calls, or maybe you are having sales calls, but you are not closing any, or assuming that you are having sales calls and you're closing some, you are basically super tired of just relying on outbound or paid ads in order to get these sales calls and close those calls. So you want to have inbound leads, okay? You want to start having inbound leads. So those are, let's say, the 3 biggest problems I know that my audience and my prospects and my market is surrounded with. And then guess what? I started to discover that there were a certain that are needed to be taken for them to go from where they are right now, aka from this situation, to the promised outcome, aka let's put here RL, aka Royland, like my business. So there needs to be a certain level of steps that need to happen, right? So you need to clarify those problems in buckets to create pillars. So for example, let's say that you notice that for people to start solving these problems, they need to, for example, I don't know, let's say create a community funnel. They need to master avatar messaging. On top of that, they need to have a no-brainer offer. On top of that, they need to master, I don't know, outreach models. On top of that, they need to do the outreach. So they need to do outreach. So basically you come up with a list of 25, 30, 50, 100 problems that your prospects are going to face in order for them to go from here to here, okay? Now, guess what? These different problems are going to have buckets. Like some of these problems have to do with appointment setting. Others are going to have to do with closing deals. Others are going to be all about crafting the offer, etc. So let's say that you notice, okay, these two pertain to a certain category. This one is from a certain category. You want to create anywhere from 2 to 4 different pillars that your offer is going to naturally solve and that your offer is going to walk them through. And those pillars, guess what, are the same pillars over here. Oh, okay, I hope that things start to click over here. So you need to clarify those problems in buckets to create pillars. And now those pillars are going to have different features. And for every feature and every pillar, you want to create your micro-VSL, okay? So this is what it will look like. So because one of the actual pillars that we go over with our offer is the foundational sales messaging and offer alignment. Guess what? One of the first things that we do on the actual sales call and that we have our micro-VSLs all about is about, okay, so the first thing that we will focus on is the sales messaging and offer alignment. So have you ever noticed how everybody nowadays talks about having an irresistible offer? Well, that's cool and everything, but if you're not having sales calls at all, then there's no point in you having an offer. That's what we need to, first of all, instead of creating your offer, we need to create the perfect sales messaging that is going to make your prospects, once you reach out to them, go like, dude, I need to actually reply to this message in such a way that it's literally impossible for them not to accept hopping on a call with you. And then once we solve the appointment setting problem by creating this sales messaging, then we can solve the actual closing problem with the actual sales alignment. So once you master this, that's when you're going to start having more calls that you know what to do with, plus closing those calls without really having to be an objection handling master. Does that make sense? Boom, people go like, oh man, yeah, I can't believe that's why, etc., etc. And that's why, of course, we actually deliver these micro-VSLs in the actual outreach process so that people come to the calls literally coming, oh, I need to buy from this guy, okay? So yeah, guys, this is a high-level overview. I know that this was a little bit all over the place. And this other part that has to do with how you can craft your own micro-VSL and how you can craft your perfect pitch in order to close deals, I will cover in a separate video because otherwise this video is going to be super long. But for this video, really just wanted to show these insights on how these foundational micro-VSLs are the solution to your appointment setting problem and to your organic client acquisition problem, while at the same time allowing you to build a community and getting you inbound leads more than you know what to do with, okay? So if this has been helpful, make sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and if you are actually running a marketing agency or a coaching business and are looking to scale, having more calls than you know what to do with, plus actually having one of our pre-trained SDRs or BAs that help you book 4 to 6 calls per day, go ahead and book a call with us. And yeah, see you guys in the next one. I hope that you enjoyed this one and, well, make some cash in the meantime. Speak soon, guys.